Hello, everybody. Um, Today I'm gonna, well, you read the title of this video. This is a tutorial on how to draw arms, and it's really not that complicated. I do all of these tutorials, like I freestyle them, and so I don't really have a script to follow here, so I just create ways to draw that I've never drawn before, so that you can actually use these made up techniques to get better at drawing or emulate my art style, whatever, on the fly. All of this is on the fly freestyle. It's New Year's Eve, and some fireworks have already started to blow up. It's 11 p.m., 11:10 p.m., and so I have to make this quick. Alright, so an arm. It doesn't look like this. That's not how an arm looks like. That's pretty much just half the arm. Like back in the days we used to watch cartoons. And fireworks are going out right now, and I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't give a fuck. I'll keep it in and I won't cut anything out of this video. So anyways, back in the days we used to have like weird ass arms in cartoons, but in anime, for example, they have really detailed arms, sort of, like, not really. It's like a bit less than average looking arms. Today you're gonna learn how to draw a muscular arm and how to draw a lean arm as well. Okay, so first thing is the deltoid. You don't need to learn the name of this muscle. You just need to know that he looks kind of like this, kind of like an egg, pretty much. And then you have another egg. Then you have another egg that is gonna be more extended like this, okay? Does that make sense? This egg is gonna be wider than this one. No, I lied. They're gonna be the same size, okay? But we're gonna we're gonna introduce the details later. Okay, so let me just move on. Okay, so we can do a little angle over here. That's gonna be important. And then we can do another one of these. Another wide egg. Okay, interesting. Now we can make a square over here, a losangle, whatever you want. And you can already see how this can turn out to be an arm, can you? It already is the base for an arm, and I'll prove it to you. Well, the deltoid is this part right here. The deltoid. When I call it deltoid, I'm just calling it by its muscle name. Usually, it has this. If your character is really ripped, then it's gonna have like this sort of egg shape, and then this one, almost like a beach ball. You're gonna have these. This shape in it, and so it's like the muscles are really, the fibers are really popping out, right? It's almost like a balloon. Whoop. But it's not a balloon. And then you'll have to just follow the rhythm over here and do the same over here. Okay, do the same for a short distance, and then you go the opposite way. So over here we're going out, right? We have this line and we're extending outwards, then we do inwards to emphasize this outwards. To emphasize this one, okay? Now it looks kind of weird because I haven't made this big enough, so it looks good. That looks much better, okay. And then over here, you're gonna have the same principle as before, but instead of that being like more like a beach ball or like a grape, this is gonna be more of like I don't even know how to call this, how to actually describe this to simplify it, but it's gonna look more or less like this, like an hourglass in the middle and these two fibers at the side, by the side. And well, we already we've drawn half the arm already. Already looks pretty good. That's what you're gonna see in a lot of anatomy books, by the way. Now we need to draw the elbow. The elbow is gonna be really simple. Just follow follow the base, and then that's the interesting part. You can make it a ball, like you can make it circular, you can make it pointy. It doesn't matter really. It depends on your art style, but if you actually wanna stick to anatomy, you can make it rounder. But make sure it's like thick, you know. After that, we have the forearm, right? We're already drawing the forearm, so over here we do this and that. It's pretty simple. Just a curve, a downwards curve, and this. Pretty fucking simple. Come on, guys, you can do this. Then we're gonna do this right here. Okay, pretty dope. What are the muscles inside it? Well, I could teach you that. I don't think that's important. But if you want to make your character rip, you can just do this. Okay. It doesn't need to actually show the muscle. I'm showing you the muscle so you can learn what they look like, so that you can get the general gist of what this looks like. Basically, this is like the subject we're studying right now. It's called the human figure, and it's blended with anatomy. So yeah, I'm a pretty good fucking professor in this bitch. Okay, anyways, the hand, you already know how to draw. You already know how to draw hands, so I'm not even gonna do it, to be honest. I'm not even drawing hands in this video, because like you already know how to do that. Anyways, make the elbow prominent, since it's a ripped guy, you know, or woman, whatever, anything in between and outside of that. Anyways, no, something's wrong here. It's not aligning. It's not aligning here. Let me just fix that. There you go. How do I know it's not aligning? Well, because we have a bone in here. It's called, I don't even remember, to be honest. That's the oh, and over here, if you want to make it actually more anatomically correct, you can make like a shape more like this and blend it in with a deltoid, aka the arm. Why would you want to do that? Well, because of this right here. Can you see, can you notice that this over here, this hourglass, and this they sort of look like a familiar shape to you, don't they? Well, that's because it's a bone. Yes, there's a bone in the arm. And I'm not sure if it's called a funny bone, but yeah, there's this bone. It's really big and it's really dense, just really thick, and it goes all the way over your deltoid, right? Your shoulder blade. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. Now let's draw a regular arm. Trying to think of a pose here. Let's do this. Okay, so we learned about deltoids and their shape. So I'm gonna make just the oval shape. The thing with the deltoid is it's really just an oval shape. It's nothing crazy. But now I will explain further what the details of the arm are. So you can see that before we do the majority of this curve for the arm, you have a slight depression over here. That is so that we can emphasize this part. And that happens because there's less, like, this is closer to the bone than this, because this muscle is way more developed than this one. You basically have no muscle here almost. Also, there's a small amount but significant of fat, I'm pretty sure. So part of this is fat. And the thing is, over here is the opposite. So we have a depression over here and a depression over here, but then we expand outwards and expand outwards in these parts. Okay? Why does it look like that? I don't know. There's a lot of fat in here as well. You don't need to know that. Fat is just squishy parts of the body. Muscle is also squishy, but it's harder and stronger. Fat acts as a defense mechanism, and bone is way denser than the both of them combined. Basically, when you're fighting, the bones are basically what makes the most damage when hitting something or someone. Anyways, it's important that when you make the shape, right, that you don't simply do this for the arm, even though it looks pretty fucking good, because I'm an artist and have been doing this for a really long time. It's important that you start around this line right here and not this one, because it doesn't look as good. Okay, it's gonna make your character look really weird, like either super skinny or super fat. Don't start in the middle, because it's also anatomically incorrect. So just go like a couple of inches downwards below that. What we do? Well, this is the back of the arm. Remember, the back overextended. It's expanding. So it's expanding over here, and then it goes down the hill. Okay? And then the opposite happens for you. This goes down the hill first, so that it can't go back. Okay? That is the bicep muscle that we're drawing right now. And we're pretty close to the end of this. Okay, so over here we also do, I didn't draw it over here, I should have. But we draw another ramp. You can call it that. So a ramp over here, and we can already close this, so it's more digestible. The elbow could be a triangle. You could try that. Okay. And then, boom. This is pretty much a This is pretty much what is this? What does this look like? I don't know how to simplify this. Let me think. All right. Looks like a chicken wing. Okay, so it's like a chicken wing. So imagine this is the wing, okay? Chicken wing. Boom. Thing is, after a depression, we always have exactly, a hill to go over. After a hill, we have a depression going outwards over here. And then you meet each other over there. Erase this because we're done with this study. Ta-dam! Cha-dam! And yes, the arm. Okay, so along with the hand, when you put this all together and you fold it, when you fold the forearm along with the hand and you get it close over here, the hand should actually go above the deltoid muscle, which is the shoulder muscle. So yeah, that's how you know if your forearm is too short or too long for the rest of the arm, right? We can do another more, or I can actually elaborate more on bones. I told you you didn't need to know the muscles over here. It is important that you know the bones. Maybe you want to make a horror series and it has like skeletons in it, or like dead people, or like an action series that exposes the bones. Anyways, there's the ulna and the radius. I don't remember which is which, to be honest, but they're bones. And after this bone ends over here, you will have the ulna and the radius, which are these really thin and fragile bones that they look like this. And I know it's kind of confusing, so in the drawing, so I'm gonna draw them over here. They look like bridges. Or like a mouth, maybe. You could call it that, I guess. And at the end, you have like the bones of the fingers and things like that, you know? Kind of looks like one of those tools the handyman have around the house. Anyways, yeah, fat is also important. You might want to draw a fat arm, and so a fat arm could be muscular like this one or like this one. They could be muscular, but they could also be just really fat. So you have the actual deltoid over here, the actual arm, and it looks fine. You have the elbow, you have everything going on, and you're done with the arm. Sure, but you can make it fat and big, you know, or like I did over here, or you can make it like this. Like you can make it look really weird and old, you know, because you have like these what you call it, this is a more leaner part. Okay, so fat redistribution, do you need to learn that? No, not really. If you don't have fat characters in your artwork, then you don't. But basically, I just erase this a little bit, and then we make some marks for the muscles. Make some marks for the muscles, and we're pretty much done. That's a extremely obese person, by the way. Thank you for watching. This was really fun to me. Yeah. Bye.